All right, folks, welcome back to the DotaPit League season number 3. We have one match on tap today, and boy, is it a good one. We have this Swedish squad of ninjas in pajamas going up against the mostly European squad, the newly formed Cloud9 with EE at the helm. Thank you so much for jumping in and joining us today. Of course, a lot of good DotaPit action coming your way here in the next coming weeks, but today, this match, a big one coming out here between these two squads, and as always, as almost every day, I've got the High Ground TV production squad at my back to help me out and bring it home. With me today, Mott Packs on the stats as always, Pip Muckle, our production manager, of course, myself, Mott, your caster, and alongside me, Trouf. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm waking up, but I'm excited to see these two teams. I'm excited to see Cloud9 and see how they perform after... this is my first time watching them personally perform after DAC, so this should be a lot of fun. Also, Ninjas in Pajamas, it's important to note that they have a new player on their roster, which is Limp, formerly of Complexity. They got rid of A-Mother. I don't know why. Maybe chat is more informed than me, but I'm not sure. But that should be fun to watch.
Going to chat already early on in the broadcast, fan. Always a mistake going to chat and trying to talk about roster issues.
Yeah, I'm going to have a nice conversation with them.
Oh, yeah, they grabbed Limp, and honestly, I think that's a really, really solid choice because when he played for Complexity, he was one of the players that I was most impressed with. Although 8Mother is also a very good player in his own right, but I can kind of see where they're coming from. I'm not sure if they drafted around him and gave him Venomancer and Viper only, but that's like, it felt like those were the two heroes he played like exclusively, and it bothered me. I'm like, why don't you just pick him other heroes, guys? Can we pick some heroes for him?
He played Invoker quite nicely. I remember his Invoker was somewhat impressive. Yeah, I don't know, because it seemed like it was just one of those interesting things to me, because I never felt like watching him like, oh, he's not playing well, or so that maybe there's like internal conflicts or something that we don't know about as observers. So can only speculate. But anyway, as far as the draft is concerned, here we got some different things coming up. Dazzle, Axe for Ninjas in Pajamas. They banned out the Wisp and the Chen, which is funny because I think they like playing Chen probably more than Cloud9 does. I know Hanskin picks that stuff all the time. And Cloud9, they pick up an early first overall pick, Batrider, and then finish it off with a Shadow Fiend in the first two.
When you have the arguably best Batrider in the world on your squad, which I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with that, but he's right up there in terms of the best Batriders in the world. And if you're going to have that option, you should go for it. And they do. They pick up the Bone 7 Batrider for themselves, and I think that's a solid choice. They pick up the Shadow Fiend as well. So we'll see if Fawcett picks that up and plays it as well. I like this new roster, but I'm not sure how well they're going to play. Like, they have yet to have a really true test. Obviously, they did very well at DAC, but I think this season of DotaPit is going to be a big indication of where they're headed. They're up against some tough teams. I mean, obviously NiP, Asus Polar is in this Group A as well. Evil Geniuses is probably the biggest team that they have to face up against, but that's not going to be today. That's a little bit later on in their tournament. And they go for the Omni Knight, which is a hero we've seen on and off recently. And yeah, they've got some really nice early game coming out with the Cloud9 draft. And then, well, NiP, they have the Axe Earthshaker. Nice stuff.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'm muted in Dota TV. This always happens to me sometimes when I change my mic. So I'm going to quickly reconnect to Dota 2. Okay. Give me just a minute.
Yeah, that always happens to me. I was actually, well, I got to shout out to Pip because he said something about his mic being muted in game. And I'm like, oh, my mic's probably not on because I was playing Dota last night. It's like, I better put my exec on. So got that squared away. But listen, it's just the draft. It's not a big deal. It happens all the time. So NiP, Earthshaker, what are they going to grab next? They have the Dazzle Axe. That's a solid dual lane. The aggro dual lane is going to come out from them more than likely. That aggro dual lane has put in so much work for almost every squad, and they get the Bristle back. Oh my god, they're going to run at heroes. NiP have the let's face rush every single hero on the enemy team kind of lineup, which I love. Oh, it's scary. Sketchy stuff, Bristle back. Is kind of an asshole in terms of just what he could provide. His right click, his Warpath stacks, obviously, his quill sprays, and then the axe as well. They have a lot of early game damage and take it. It's how he's supposed to kill anybody here if you're Cloud9. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah, the laning stage could be scary for sure. Like Dazzle plus either axe or Bristleback, and then whatever other support, in this case Earthshaker. It's really scary to go against if you're a defensive tri-lane. Omni Knight Lion is really not the best pairing for a safe lane tri-lane. It's really going to come down to what they want to have as their core. But then when you're in a position where you're drafting your core hero, your one position to just make sure you don't get, screwed in lane, then you can't really think about the overall picture about what's going to work best with the team. Do I have enough late game carry? These are the kind of hard decisions you have to make when you have to worry about, getting aggro tri-lane by either an Axe or a Bristleback.
I mean, that's a very good point, and it feels almost like Cloud9 are just kind of staving off the aggression and hoping they can get out of the laning phase alive. And if that's the case with your draft, then how do you say, okay, well, here's what our overall plan is, like you were talking about. I definitely agree with you. Omni-Knight line in a tri-lane might be okay to survive, though. Omni-Knight with Purification, kind of deceptive in the fact that maybe somebody's dying, he heals him back up, and he's good to go. Earthspike and Hex are very good against any hero, really, on this squad. But again, there's so much sustain coming out from these heroes, especially with a Dazzle in tow, that I'm kind of concerned for or rather for Cloud9 in this laning phase. But we'll see how things do turn out here. They do have the SF to work with, which is always nice. We'll see where they send the Bristleback. I feel like Axe Dazzle's probably the aggro dual lane situation, and then maybe send Bristleback either safe lane or mid lane. We've seen mid Bristle. I'm not sure if that's the case this game. I don't know if that's what they want to do, though.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, they could put Bristleback in the solo safe lane against Batrider. I think he would actually do just fine. I don't think he'll necessarily win, but I think he's actually not too bad against Batrider because he's not ever in a position to really die without at least putting pressure onto the Batrider himself with extra stacks of his cool sprays. So that could be a lane, and then they could go aggro with Axe, Earthshaker, Dazzle. The one good thing I think Cloud9 has going for them is they have this early pick Shadow Fiend, which is a premier pick right now in the metagame, and it beats most mid heroes. And I haven't seen a mid hero right now available for Ninjas in Pajamas that can really shut down a Shadow Fiend. I guess actually I look here and there's
Sniper.
Sniper is not banned yet. I'm wondering if Cloud9 wants to ban that. I've seen more snipers just destroy Shadow Fiends. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Smart ban. I think that's really smart.
If that got through, I would have been like, that draft is disgusting for an IP.
Yeah. So other options, like I've talked about this a lot just because we've been seeing Shadow Fiend picked up a lot, but Viper is an okay option. I think that they would have okay late game with Bristleback and Viper if they wanted to go with that. Razor, actually, oddly enough, is actually really good, but they banned. It's funny that they banned it out themselves because Razor is actually not only okay against Shadow Fiend, but very good against Batrider. It kind of forces Batrider to either get repelled all the time or get a BKB. So curious to see what Ninjas in Pajamas go for the last pick.
And is Razor good against the Batrider because of his unstable current?
Yes, you basically just stay there when you lasso him, unless you have a BKB, or in this case, the Omni-Knight repel.
Yeah, you literally just don't move. You take that hit, and you're just like, well, I guess I lasted him. What do we do now? So yeah, that's a really good point. NiP go for the Zeus though.
Okay. That's not bad. That's really good against Batrider,
so too. The Arc Lightning coming out, and he probably is put in the mid lane, I imagine, going out for Ninja's Pajamas against the Shadow Fiend. So I like the choice as well.
Yeah, it's another one of those. It's a hero that can not really shut down a Shadow Fiend, but it will farm as much as the Shadow Fiend does, but probably a little less, just because Shadow Fiend can farm the creeps in mid and the jungle at the same time. So it's a nice hero for the mid. Like I said, it's also really good against Batrider in the mid late game because using your ult early on in team fights before the Batrider uses the lasso, it obviously cancels his blink, and then he couldn't have the initiation that he wanted to have.
Yeah, that's easier said than done, but I think they could get it done later on in these engagements if he's got the right timing for it. Plus, I think it provides a lot of early aggression, like Bristleback or Axe or whoever are going to be fighting, say down bottom or even top, and then Zeus pops his ultimate, and that hero's probably dead. It's going to get Culling Bladed, or Bristleback will chase him down with goo and just right-click him to death. So I think Cloud9 have to look out in this early game, this early to mid game, because Ninjas in Pajamas have this huge team fighting lineup, which it's kind of strange because we didn't really see this lineup coming from them in the qualifiers. They would always go for Jonas and Fan picking a Slardar. 8 Mother would pick Venomancer or Viper, and then Arrow would pick this hard farming carry, or harder farming carry, I should say. And it's kind of very different from what we see in this draft altogether. But again, we haven't seen them in a while. We saw them in DotaPit in one series. They are 2-0 here in Group A. I think it was against, let's see, Fire. Yeah, they 2-0'd Fire. Now Cloud9, their last pick. They have to go for a safe lane, or what are they going to grab here? We'll see.
Yeah, could be. I mean, typically you'd want some kind of ranged carry against Axe or Bristleback. The best ways, or they could do something totally different and go with an anti-mage. I know that they really like to play these 4 protect 1 lineups in general for Cloud9, especially when they pick up a Batrider. It's not so much that case because they have a Shadow Fiend. They're going to go with the Juggernaut this time, though. Okay.
I'm going to be honest, I was completely expecting that pick. And
oh, really?
It doesn't blow me. I mean, well, like, you see Juggernaut so often, it's not banned. And it's available in the last pick. What else are they going to grab? I mean, Juggernaut just seems like the best possible option in this situation. That's just the way the patch goes, I guess. That's how I feel about the patch right now, so...
Yeah, there's a couple things about Juggernaut I don't like, though. One is that the Dazzle Grave is quite good against him. And the heal is quite good against him through the spin as well, because it's physical damage. Also, Bristleback and Axe are both very good against Juggernaut, because the call will obviously go through the spin. Bristleback doesn't really care about the spin, because he amps up that physical damage. I thought maybe like Anti-Mage could have been pretty good, because it's really good against Axe. But it's not so much that it's not the Anti-Mage pick. I just don't know if Juggernaut's that great against the heroes that are being shown right now. I mean, it's a great overall hero. It's like a very strong overall hero. I'm not so sure it's that great against these heroes that have very good physical damage and can do things against him even while he's spinning.
It almost feels like C9 are like, okay, well, what's a good hero in this situation? Well, Juggernaut's actually pretty okay. Like, it's always like a solid pick, and then they just kind of throw it together and say, this will be fine. And they go from there. So it feels like they're kind of just hoping that this landing phase goes okay. And NiP, I think, have the better draft, but in terms of the play, it really comes down to can they execute. At least I like the NiP draft better. I don't know. This might be tough for Cloud9. Although, again, I've talked about it. They have Bone 7's Batrider. They have some good supports for them as well. The Omni Knight coming out for No Tail, who apparently is AFK. I'll be back in just a moment. The first game of this 2-game series. What are we looking at for lanes here? We already talked about NiP a little bit. Limp probably goes mid on the Zeus. You have Era's safe lane with Earthshaker roaming for hand scan, and then probably aggro dueling. Would you say that's probably the way you land this for NiP?
Well, like I said, I think that Bristleback could be okay against the Batrider top. Because I just think that they have a really strong aggressive tri-lane with Axe and Dazzle and Earthshaker. But they might just take the safe route and just go top and really try to zone out the Bat. The thing is about them, though, is if you're going to do that, you should probably ward some camps from the Batrider. Just because of how fast Batrider jungles. So I instinctively want them to go aggro tri-lane, just because I don't think that C9's lane is good. I don't think that Juggernaut... First of all, they have a double melee, which is already an innate problem. And they have double melee that takes a lot of physical damage from the Axe and the Dazzle. Obviously, when you're melee, you have to be on top of the creeps to attack them, but Dazzle will just heal bomb it and then do extra damage to you. So I think that NiP should go aggressive tri-lane, even if they do pit up against a Batrider in a solo lane.
The game's gonna get going here. I agree with you. They're probably gonna head towards that bottom lane. Maybe try to, they're getting there. They're gonna go to bottom. It looks like with a couple of heroes. Actually, just Jonathan fan for now. He does have a good old stat shield ring of protection starting item build here, so he will be quite tanky and difficult to deal with. But as it stands right now, Seal Kid's heading top. Might just ward. Look for that bounty rune at the top rune spot. Although I gotta say, the Radiant side for the top bounty rune is so much better. There's so much high ground to work with in comparison to the Dire side. Dire side has this one little staircase here, and if they try to walk out, they have to walk a long way to get to that bounty rune. There's a lot of heroes that can stand in the vicinity. But... oh, Bone 7, that double ring of protection strat. I thought people didn't do this anymore after they changed to Ring of Prot Gold. But that is 8 armor for the Batrider. He's a tanky bad boy, Batrider. He's feeling himself.
Yep, it's pretty good for him. Earthshaker is Earthshaker is going bottom to block the creeps for Jonathan fans. So I imagine it will be actually just an offlane Axe. Bone 7, he has the sticky napalm early. He's already applying stacks. He wants to apply them now so that by the time the rune comes up, they just have so many stances they can't contest it. Limp is sitting here actually doing some good damage with his Arc Lightning, but yeah, they will get pushed out, and it's really hard to contest this against the Batrider that has stacks on you of sticky napalm.
That was a really good play, really solid play. It was kind of just they were dancing back and forth, trying to decide who was going to grab it, but the sticky napalm stacks come out, and that does give Bone 7 an easier time. And the dual lane, I've seen this before with them. No-Tail, Bone 7 in the offlane, having the Omni-Knight to help him out. He can run at people, give him obviously the degen aura for No-Tail, plus the Orb of Venom. If Big Daddy No-Tail gets into range of somebody and right-clicks them, then you could imagine Bone 7 is going to go to work. And this top lane might be actually pretty difficult for Era. This might be something we weren't expecting, which does give Axe a little bit more room in that bottom lane, but Era might have a tough time farming. He will have the Quill Sprays going early on here. He already has 3 stacks. No points of Bristlebacks, who's not that tanky, but here comes Hanskin. Looking for that Fissure, doesn't get the block, it's on the wrong side. Shadow Wave goes regardless, and maybe a bit of a hasty initiation coming out. This top lane is going to be a battle, certainly, though, and we'll probably keep our eyes up here.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be a little bit annoying in the top lane, but I don't think they're going to stop Bristleback's farm, per se. So it's a matter of how much 7 can farm, and... well, a couple things. One, they haven't placed the ward yet from No-Tail. He does have an Orb of Venom, which is nice, but I don't know. I just don't know about how successful this lane will be. I could be wrong, but I think NiP definitely have the upper edge. We'll see if this affects the bottom lane as well. As you mentioned, it's going to free up a little bit of time and space for the Axe. Lion is a pretty damn good zoner, though. Like, even by himself, with the changes that were made quite some time ago, it does make him actually a pretty decent zoner. We'll see. Right now, this Axe is getting full levels.
Yeah, the Axe does have Battle Hunger. He already used it early on onto E and gave him some right clicks and counter helix procs, and he had to back away from a creep wave and miss a couple of CS. So it's already affecting him a little bit, although he still has decent CS with 6 last hits. So we'll see how things turn out. Seal Kid is smoked up, and he's going to head to the bottom lane. They are just going to keep Era up here kind of alone, and I think this might be okay. I don't know if he needs that much help. Even against a dual lane, he'll have to be careful. Degenerate is going to go, as well as the Orb of Venom.
Oh, he
goes as well. The Firefly, the 2 stacks coming out. Era in trouble. Fissure, No-Tail's going to fall, but they don't get the first blood goal. It's split up between the supports, or rather the creeps, I believe. Bottom lane is nothing's happening there. All right. Well, pretty big mistake. Those Quill Sprays come out, they stack up, and you're dead all of a sudden.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have Repel, not like it would matter, because... you know, obviously the damage can still go through it, but not a good way to start that. And like I said, the biggest thing about this lane, a nice purification doing some extra damage, but he does have a health potion up top, so it doesn't matter. The biggest thing I think for Cloud9 is not so much like, hey, we're disrupting Bristleback's farm. It's like, we need to make sure that our Batrider gets free farm. And I don't think he's going to get a ton of farm up there staying in the lane. I think Batrider farm is just simply much faster in the jungle. So yeah, it's going to turn into, I think, what should be an Omni-Knight offlane and maybe just Batrider jungle, but... then that means bottom lane's going to have a much better time for Jonas Fan, who's up to 15 CS right now.
I think if they... oh, top lane? Era? Okay, no. Degen Aura, Orb of Venom, they do TP the bat back up. Maybe they try to go for the kill again, but even then, that seems a bit dangerous. If they just sack that top lane and they rotate maybe Omni-Knight down bottom, they not only give their safe lane farm, but they can also stack up the jungle like you were talking about. So this top lane feels as if they're putting a lot of pressure on stopping the farm of Hanskin, but they've already died once to... or not Hanskin, rather Era, but they've already died once to the Bristleback, so... this is going to turn into a weird off lane coming up for Cloud9. And now Era runs at BDN. And, well, he does get purification. There's going to be the Fissure coming out, but Era kind of low. Does have a salve. Not going to use it yet. He has 7 sick charges as well. How about this mid lane? We haven't talked about it. And, of course, Fata with 23 CS, unsurprisingly. He's got 22 Necro Mastery stacks. Zeus is 13. That's not very good. They even
nice
deny
play.
that haste run at the bottom rune spot for Seal Kid. That was sick coming out from his with the Earth Spike. That was something else, but
that could have been, you know, potentially pretty bad. There, that nuke is coming out again up in the top lane. That Satyr Tormentor is just nuking everybody. There is a stun from Hanskin, and it's kind of in an awkward spot. It sort of blocks off. Nope, it does not. So they will be fine. It's more of a defensive measure, if anything. But he's actually out of mana right now. Needs the clarity up. Bottom lane, dives humming. Oh,
Axe actually gets hexed up. They won't go any further. Misery's very low. They could have thought it. They maybe thought about diving. They're like, no, TPs could be coming here. I'm surprised Jonas Fan's not going that hard. Fata is diving behind the tower mid, looking for raises. Got his creep wave there to help him out, but he's not going to go too far in. And
Zeus is actually getting punished in mid lane, and I don't think it should be this bad. I do think that SF wins the lane, but I think usually Zeus is okay to just at least spam out, so something must have happened in the early parts of this laning stage. And I missed it, but Batrider died to what's probably a Satyr again, nuking him down. Oh my god, those neutral creeps.
I'm pretty sure NiP were trying to go on him, and he just somehow denied himself instead of getting killed by the side of the Dire team. That's probably pretty good, although him dying is necessarily not the thing he's looking for. He's actually going to TP back up top. Still no stacks in the Radiant jungle that I can see anyway. As that might be an important... Yeah, I guess that's true, because, like, you have Misery in the... He's just sitting in the trees here. He just can't move anywhere. He's like, please help me. Somebody, dear God. This offlane's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't just try lane defensively and just have the Omni Knight stack, because Omni Knight can't really zone out the Axe anyway since he's a melee hero. I mean, maybe he can because he can spam Purification, but that's not an effective use of mana, so... I'm not all down with the decisions of the lanes, but the good thing, as you mentioned earlier, is that Fata is crushing mid right now.
That is the one lane that is going for Cloud9. Top lane, Ares getting plenty of CS, although Batrider is ahead of him, so that is something. However, it's, I think in terms of just straight up net worth, I think Ares right with that Batrider, even ahead of him. Bottom lane obviously is 26 last hits, not the most in the world for that Juggernaut, so it really comes down to Fatsa and maybe just hopefully soon stacking up the jungle. Well, top, maybe Fisher coming out. Bone 7 Zeus ult. Can they get another Quill Spray? He's so low. Does get it just in range. Arrow walks in, gets the kill. Bottom lane, EE getting caught out, but backing away. He's struggling, man. This is 41 last hits for Jonas and Fan in comparison to the 27 of Eternal Envy. TP canceled mid lane as Fatsa was looking to go back in on Limp or...
This is what happened. He TP'd and he realized that he wasn't going to have mana for the Fisher, so he canceled it. It's kind of a misjudgment there by Handskin. Had he had the Fisher, I think get the kill because Limp had one more Lightning Bolt ready to go. But mid lane is a bit of a problem. Like I talked about how he's crushing Ope top lane. Looks like another go onto Era.
Ooh, big Purification. Can they take him down? The Fisher, the Quill Sprays are going to stack up. Cloud9 need to leave. Big Daddy No-Tail. Nice repel on the Bone 7. Not that it matters against Quill Sprays. Yeah, getting chased down. One more Quill Spray. Big Purification does miss. Swing and a miss coming out from the Omni Knight. A lot of dancing around. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're diving on Limp. There's going to be the Earth Spike, the raise, double raise going through. Lightning bolts on the Misery. Can they get the return kill? The Hex is up. They're going to get 2 for 1, 2 for nothing even. And the tower. Fatsa getting the double kill. He is crushing this mid lane. He's crushing this game. He actually doesn't get the last 10 on the tower. That was awkward. Just say, come on, man. You're a bit better than that.
Oh, but mid lane is a gigantic problem right now. Like, he can actually just win the game yet.
Oh my God, Jonas and Fan gets the creep wave, and he gets the dunk coming in as well. He got the creep wave, so when he used his Berserker's Call, he was going in onto, obviously, EE, and he might get another one. He doesn't have the mana for it, but it doesn't matter. Zeus will get the ult, and he'll get the kill. Lip says, thank you very much. I will take that gold. I'll see you later. Jonas and Fan barely alive. Fata chasing after him heavily. Jonas and Fan smartly not going for that DD rune. On the backside, Limp is nearby. Fatsa kind of low. Lightning Bolt. Fatsa's like, I need to bottle up. Gonna try to fight. Raise 1. Double raise not gonna go. He doesn't have the mana for it. Fatsa in trouble. Get jammed. Jonas and Fan comes back in for dessert. He says, thank you very much. He's gonna head back home. And Jonas and Fan is on a roll. He gets his Vanguard. 8.5 minute Vanguard plus 800 gold and Tranquil Boots. This guy is on a tear.
Limp actually almost missed. He did miss the Lightning Bolt there. I was kind of fearful that they weren't going to get that kill because the Fisher was on the other side, but they do come out on top there, NiP. That was a very weird thing by Misery to stay there in melee range of the Axe and still got spun. You can still get spun through the when you're hexed as well, which is kind of annoying. You don't expect it to happen, but that can happen.
I imagine that'll be changed.
Yeah. And he actually goes for the Vanguard earlier on than this time instead of the Blink. I see this a lot on Axis, but I usually see it when they've just completely free farmed a lane. And you know what? I guess he has, because he has 60 CS, which is ridiculously high.
Yeah, I thought he might have been able to get it earlier. Like 5 minutes is the time you'll see for Vanguard in these types of lanes for Axis. Well, at least 56 minutes. Jugs is walking into the jungle. Omni Slash, he thought about using, cancels the animation as he got flogged. Fisher canceled. Hanskin's like, do I want to use this? I guess so. He's blocked. Era will chase after him. Healing Ward's going to go. No Viscous Stays Lagoon, so Era can't really... He might be able to get this kill. Quill Spray's at 3 stacks, 4 stacks, about to go. The Zeus ult to secure it. Oh, Limp. All he has to do is press the R button. His team does the rest of the work for him. It's pretty nice.
It actually is the easiest hero in the game to play. Like, look at... He doesn't have to do a damn thing. Just presses R and it's already in a killing spree. Oh, boy.
Walks around like a stupid little hero, hits his R button. Oh, my God.
Oh, well, Fatsa gets a haste.
Fisher, nice block coming out as well. He has to go up to the top of the river, but instead the last one out onto Era. They're going to bring him up to the high ground. Era's stuck and more than likely going to die. Nice pick. Oh, he's going to TP out. He's not going to make it. Oh, he was so close. Fata walks back in questionably.
No heal from No Tail. I think that's what he was trying to go for.
Oh my god, they get out. What just happened? That was something else.
I think he was expecting the heal from No Tail, which didn't come out. Oh boy. That was awful. He had a haste rune too. Just took so much damage from bolts constantly and constantly. Nice try by Era. He was very, very close, just a half second away from actually getting out in time. But wasn't able to do so. But still coming out on top is NiP. And this is giving more time for Jonas and Fan on the axe. We just picked up his Vanguard, it seems like. And he's very, very close, sacking the own enemy jungle for himself to get that Blink Dagger a little bit faster. Speaking of Blinks, Bone 7 does have enough for his, which is good, but this is against one of those teams, I've talked about this before with Batriders, where I don't think Blink is enough. I think you really have to get that 4-step quickly after, because there's things like Fissures to stop your initiation, there's Axe Blink Call, there's Dazzle's Grave and Heal. So it's kind of a precarious situation, even with just a Blink on Batrider.
They're wrapping on top. Air's going to walk right in. Misery and No Tail. Fisher is going to come out, kind of put in an awkward spot. Misery is going to get repelled up, and he'll try to live. He's going to run. He has a TP. Earth Spike is going to go, but the Quill Spray will secure the kill. The Zeus Ult came in as well, and Hanskin gets the kill on Big Daddy No Tail. So 2 down. They stay way too long in that top lane. And just easily done coming out from NiP. And I feel like Cloud9 are playing right into NiP's hands here. This is a team where NiP wants to fight. They want to be involved.
Yeah,
Cloud9 exactly. Don't have much to deal with this early on. I don't know why they're fighting that much.
Well, not even fighting, but like they have 2 of their support heroes laning, pushing the tower top with no one nearby. Like, why is this happening? You know?
Yeah.
It's just like it's just conscious decisions of where you are on the map that are just there's no reason to be there. So, and the innate problem too is, like I mentioned, I don't like their draft. I don't like the decision to have Juggernaut and these melee heroes against very, very strong heroes that will punish melee heroes. So here we go, Repel onto Bone 7. Doesn't really do anything to stop the damage, the physical damage anyway from Era, who is quite farmed right now. He's actually going for a Drums of Endurance this time.
I think Lip probably has Blink Tag. He has enough money for a Blink Tag. He can buy it. He will do so. Mask Man is picked up for the Juggernaut as well, so at least Jug gets an item after what was a pretty disastrous bottom lane. He has 65 CS, so he's kind of caught up. He still has a long way to go, obviously. Fata helping getting some towers here. His Yule's probably later than it should be, although, I mean, this isn't that bad considering. He's doing pretty nicely for himself. He's level 11. X was thinking about jumping in onto EE, but that he might get jumped on. This smoke blast is going to go. This is not the easiest kill to go for. Misery does have Finger. Respect. Zeus Ult, Omni Slash. They throw a lot for that kill, but they do get it, and that's a big pickup. That is the highest in net worth. Fawcett got fissured, but they can't really chase him down. Hansky's looking for an enchant totem, backs away. He's going to get raised. He'll get Shadow Waved back to full-ish health. But they will back away, and so one big pickup for Cloud9 there. That's not bad at all to get that kill.
I was surprised that Envy didn't choose to use his Mask of Madness while he ulted, but I guess it didn't really matter at all. Could matter in the future, especially if like you accidentally ult and Axe calls, because then Axe gets the bonus 40 armor, which could actually be pretty devastating. But top lane, it looks like Ancients were attempted stacked, or at least stacked I think 3 times, which is going to be good for really no one right now, because no one can really clear those. Double damage bottom. Era is going to scare Fata a little bit and actually take it for himself.
Fisher's going to come out. Fata not blocked. Era trying to get up to the high ground. Raze is going to go. Jonas Fan is in. He's looking for the call, but he gets the chop instead. Big Daddy No Tail uses the GA. He's still on the run. Era doesn't even have Vistus Nasal Goo. He doesn't care about slows. He just wants to run at people. Easiest way to do that. Getting 4 points in your Quill Spray, 4 points in your Bristleback. They get 2 quick kills. Fata the biggest of the targets. And they could even transition into Roshan somewhere in the near future, maybe even now. Looks like that'll be the choice with the double damage rune. This should not be a problem whatsoever.
Nope. Well, we'll see. Like you said, he doesn't have the goose, so it's actually going to take a lot longer than it normally would. And the DD is fading. Okay, it'll still go down, but this is very good for them. Top lane, Batrider is getting closer. Yeah, I think this is really smart, Bone 7. I think prioritizing his farm and making sure he gets fast 4-staff after the blink is really going to help him out. Like I said, this is not one of those games where you can just get a blink and go gank right away from Batrider. One, you don't have the damage until the Lion Finger is up, or the Omni Slash is up, and two, it's just so many easy ways to cancel that initiation. So, Aegis goes to Bristleback, and yeah, NiP is in a good position.
As you mentioned, Bone 7 farming the top lane. He does have that Staff of Wizardry, so 4-staff is not too far off. He's going to try to cut the creep wave top lane. He's just putting some pressure on the top tower. He'll TP out, realizing that Era has TP'd in. So good split push from Cloud9. Keep, you know, their mid lane, their Ancients free. You talked about the Ancients. He is taking it with the healing ward. He has his Mask of Madness. Taking a while, but he'll get there eventually. And he does have like 2,000 gold, so if he wanted to buy Yasha here, he certainly could. Which SNY or Manta is probably the choice, I guess.
Manta would not
SNY?
be good here. Yeah, Manta would definitely not be good here. There's easy AoE to clear the illusions. In fact, the illusions help Axe, if anything.
Yeah.
So I would not recommend Manta, but SNY would be okay.
I mean, I don't know what else you go for. Like, it's just, I've seen so many SNYs trigger that I'm not that well versed in what else people pick up on the hero. I guess BKB also could be okay eventually, but still, even that seems like maybe not.
Well, no, because one, you have Repel if you wanted to prioritize that. Although you might want to have the Repel onto the Batrider. But the thing about BKB is it doesn't really help you against Bristleback nor the Axe, which is, again, the innate problem of the draft, I think. So, we'll see. I think SNY is the most likely. I believe Yasha is purchased. Yeah, there's the Yasha flying on the courier.
They'll have that, a bit of extra tankability, and when the SNY is done, the Yasha providing some extra damage as well. The main procs coming out, which is nice, but they're going to work on the tier 1 tower, and it feels like NiP finally manning up. They have the Aegis. There's no real reason for them to wait any further. Limp has the Yule Scepter. Jonas Fan has Vanguard, Blank Dagger, and 2,000 gold seemingly out of nowhere, so he could buy an item if he wants to, like a Blade Veil perhaps. You can go for Aghanims as well. There's a couple of options for him. We've seen like Pipe is pretty good on Axe. In this situation, probably okay. And actually Crimson Guard because of the Juggernaut Omni Slash seems like a pretty good item for Jonas Fan if he wants to go for that. See.
Sure, if you want to. It gives him a ton of armor too.
Yeah.
I forgot that about the component, is that it gives you the what's the component called? The shield of...
Buckler?
Buckler, yeah. So it's a big chunk of armor as well. Makes you really, really tanky.
I like that item a lot. I think people need to build it more often, but... Lots of split push this tier 2 top lane. Oh, Lasso. The 4-staff Bone 7 gets it. Era, he does have the Aegis. They can't secure the kill. That Lasso duration is still only level 1, so it's not quite as long as maybe he was anticipating. Only 3-second duration compared to maybe 3.5 or 4 seconds coming out from the later Lasso levels.
That was just weird. I don't think his team knew he was going. Like, they were not ready. There's the Yules actually on the Jonas Fan. Good damage so far, but... He's still got his team behind him. Oh, Vata gets 4-staffed in by Bone 7. There's the block out coming out.
Oh, he gets the call, but nice Guardian Angel going. Maybe he actually quick on the trigger finger. Now Misery finding Limp. Maybe using his finger thinking about it. Zeusalt's going to go Requiem, but doesn't really hit anybody with it. Jonas Fan thinking about jumping in his blink off cooldown now. Air very deep into the fight. Yulsip is going to go. Still has the Aegis. They've already lost the Lion, but that's all they've lost. And actually, NiP very low. They'll have to bottle up. Blink away from Bone 7. All the meanwhile, they only lose one hero, and up top, EE is farming away. He has his SNY pretty much. He can purchase it now. He does need a TP scroll, though. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, neutral creeps got the kill online. Neutral creeps are just MVP this game.
Yeah, they really are.
They really are. That. But Era still has his Aegis, and that's good for them. A lot of spells were used from C9. They haven't used the finger yet, though. I think it was still on cooldown or something for Lion, but they do have that available. So that's like their biggest source of damage right now when the Omni Slash isn't available.
They'll smoke up for Cloud9. They're going to be the ones to be aggressive here. There is still the Aegis on Era. They didn't take it down in that fight. Fatsa stops the smoke to sit back and farm mid, so they'll send 3 heroes into the enemy jungle. The 4th with Juggernaut coming into the backside. Eternal Levy's looking for a hero. Limp is farming, but he's pretty far in. They're going to go for maybe a blink. They don't have a lasso, do they? They do, but he's just out of range. Nice Fisher coming in to stop maybe an Omni Slash. Yogg popped the Mask of Madness to get some more move speed to work with, but they couldn't find anything. They'll head back towards the mid and top lane. They're starting to take over this top half of the map here for Cloud9. They're not being super defensive. They're making sure Juggernaut gets farm in the enemy jungle, and I think that this is kind of a problem for NiP. They're not really doing much at this point.
Yeah, well, they're grouping up a lot, and that's really stifling Bristleback's farm. Era's actually quite underfarmed, all things considered. Yeah, top lane he did have some aggression, but I mean they're up 13-4, so they should be having a pretty good time about finding farm. But that's the one thing that Cloud9 do have going for them, is that their heroes just farm faster and more safely. Especially with the item build that Fott has gone for with the Blink Yules. Like, it's very, very difficult to kill him unless you get a an Axe Call who is like ready with backup. And even then, I don't know, just because they have an Omni Knight. So as we approach the mid game, it's getting a little bit stronger for C9, just because their heroes are starting to come into play a little bit easier.
And what do you do if you're an IP? Do you sit back and farm and say, you know what, we've missed our window, we got to get some farm on Era, or do you just hold that thought? Actually, Jonas a fan. First spike, finger, Omni Slash. He's dead. That was a nice kill. That was a nice pick.
Yeah, good invis rune there for Eternal Envy. Really helped out. And that's big, because I don't know how they kill heroes without Axe anyway. There's a smoke actually coming up from NiP.
They're smoking into their own jungle.
They're gonna do anything with this though.
They find Fatsa, but he gets Yulesed up, and now the repel onto Fatsa. You can't really fight into this anymore. Limp actually backs away. They smoke into their own jungle. They don't find anything. Just, I don't know, man. It feels like NiP are just kind of running around with their heads cut off at this point. They're trying to find stuff, but I don't know.
I feel like Zeus is really underfarmed. I just feel like actually a lot of their heroes are underfarmed considering the great start that they had. Zeus, he's actually like, what, 5th, 6th overall?
Yeah. Yep.
And he's 4-1 and 4. He's just like, while he's got a good hero score, but he's just not finding creep kills. Eternal Envy trying to get to the top rune, doesn't have Omni Slash, so it can't do anything to the Zeus, but yeah, so that's the one problem. Also, the supports are very underfarmed too. Like, they're roaming around a lot, but they're not getting many CS. So this Earthshaker's gonna have a very, very late blink as a result.
I guess that's the tale for all of the sports, though. You look at the net worth chart, and you can see all of the cores are bunched up in that 7,000 plus range, and then the next closest person is a 3,000 net worth misery support. So, just I guess the story of supports in Dota 2 apparently, as 4 of them are lined up for like a total of 10,000 net worth. Also, I did want to talk about. We talked about the item choices for Juggernaut for Envy, and did go for that Manta style. He opted for the choice that we thought he probably goes for an SMY instead.
Yeah, I don't really like it that much, to be honest. I don't think that I mean, okay, the one thing about Manta is it's really good late game for split pushing. Like, pushing out lane safely. You could even scout for yourself using the illusions, but like I said, they have a lot of AoE on NiP, and Axe actually likes it. So does Earthshaker. I forgot to mention that, but Earthshaker really likes it when you have more units on the map too that are clumped up. That's as long as he doesn't clump up with them, I think it's okay. Still think SNY would have been a little bit stronger, but like I said, you can split push a lot better with Manta.
Bone 7 being kind of annoying to Jonas if fan will TP out. Bottom lane, some pressure was getting placed there by Cloud9, Big Daddy No-Tail, and Fatsa. I like this duo that they've kind of had these two heroes hand in hand for a long time now. They're keeping Fatsa very, very safe with this repel, and Big Daddy No-Tail's right behind him and just making him safe. But he will TP top, and they're going to try to push this top lane, although there is no tier 2 tower here. I just feel like Cloud9 are getting so much more off the map right now. And like you mentioned, NiP, really, they don't have the farm. The creep hitting for Zeus isn't quite there. He's caught up a little bit. He's gotten a couple of creeps since the last time we talked about him. And now another smoke for NiP. They really want to make something happening, but Cloud9's movements have been so solid. We'll see if that's going to be the case again this time as they're ready to jump in. Era looking to walk forward. They see the Juggernaut. The last one goes on a Limp as well. Omni Slash is going to go. Era turns his back, but still in trouble. Zeus goes. Limp uses, stays alive. Now the Echo and the Coin Blade. Limp, graved up misery on the run. He says, please, dear God, I'm just a lion. Well, you're dead, Mr. Lion. Meanwhile, Bone 7 going to get into the trees. He does have his bots ready to go. Big fight for NiP. Big smoke. They take 2 quick kills, but they will have to go back mid as Fatsa is split pushing.
Yeah, and Bone 7's up here in the side, or up in the top part, trying to look to get away. Right there, man. That's exactly what I talked about. So he Omni Slashed, then Manted, and then got called with his Manta illusions attacking, so providing extra spins. and provided extra damage for the Earthshaker. It was like both of the things I talked about just happened. Oh, it was funny to watch. Jonas the Fan actually finds the bat who's stuck around, but not going to be able to go onto him. He's got a big chunk of change too. Look at that, 3,600 there for the Axe.
I'm gonna rant here for a second. Axe is such a stupid hero. This hero's broken.
He is quite strong. I will say that.
I mean, I love watching this guy, but like, all of his abilities are amazing, even Battle Hunger. All right, I'm done. That's it. I only just wanted to say that much. I guess I could have gone further, but I knew that Cat would have been upset with me. Cat, the last thing I want is for you guys to be angry at me. Air will head its throw spit.
I say it's not a rant unless some F-bombs are thrown in there somewhere.
That's true. I mean, I guess it was more of an opinion statement, I suppose. Not much of a rant. That's all right. Maybe next time. Maybe next time I'll go in. You should have heard me the other night when we were talking, when I was streaming and I was talking about Union Gaming. That was a rant, man.
Oh, yeah?
I went off. I did go off, so.
Bristleback, by the way, I don't know if you mentioned this, is going for Helm of the Dominator. Or has gone for it. Yeah, so he wants a Satanic, which is going to help him be very, very tanky, but I guess it's fine. I don't know. You don't really benefit from the extra, like, well, you know what? Now that I think about it, I guess you somewhat do benefit from the lifesteal, because you're actually, when you stack up those Warpath stacks, you're hitting for like 250 or something.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not so bad, actually. We'll see if it comes into play at all.
I am
least
curious.
Satanic.
Motpax, if you're around, buddy, if you could give us the stats on Bristlebacks that pick up Helm of the Dominator / Satanic. I'm sure there's not many, but I want to know if there are any other heroes or any other players that have done that in the past. I'm sure there's maybe one or two. We'll see. Hopefully you are around, though.
Oh, they're pinging out Envy. They know he's here.
He's got a Blade Fury, and they call him. They get the call just in time. EE almost finishes TP. And EE is the master of farming the enemy's like jungle and ancients, but then dying for it. He likes to be greedy in that sense, and that's fine, but with that greed comes the responsibility of, I might die in this situation. They get the kill. That's a big kill coming out for NiP.
Yeah. And nice guy EE still manages to stack the ancients for him that he just did, because they killed him in time, and then the new ones respawned. So, looking at the CS, though, for Fata, it's still quite impressive. If he wants to go for the Scotty, he I think has enough for it, so that'll be good for him. Scotty's very, very good against Axe, but Axe just bought a frickin' Shiva's Guard and still has 1,200 gold left. No blink coming up for the Earthshaker, but he's actually very, very close, so maybe they can prioritize a little bit of farm, a little bit of me time for Handskin. 3 Satanics ever on Bristleback and Pro Dota, but also just 3 Helms. Okay. Yeah, not very many.
I am surprised that there are even that many, honestly. I guess it's maybe not that strange. As a hard farming hero in the late game, you want to be able to survive. Satanic, one of the ways to do that. So he has bots as well. Bots, S and Y, and Helm of the Dominator. He doesn't have the biggest items, but that could change quickly. He'll bots and bottom. They're gonna try to go for this tier 2 tower and put a little bit of pressure on Cloud9 as Roshan is, I think, just been killed, and of course Era has the Aegis. He's ready to go. You notice the fan is going to Shiva's Guard, make sure nobody's in the vicinity. They actually force a blink out of Bone 7. That was a nice play, but Bots is at the tier 3 tower top lane, and his Scotty is now done. You have to send some heroes back if you're NiP, but Era just botsed in. So Era has to stay bottom for another 23 seconds. Everyone else is going to TP in, though. Yule's on the Fox, so he will get repelled. Blink the call misses, though, and now Jonas and Fan hexed up. The Requiem, the Omni / Jonas and Fan gets blown up.
God.
He vanishes from thin air. That is huge, and they might even be able to keep going here. You are going to get fissured on Fata. He's taking a bit of damage. He will back up.
I'm going to check the buyback here.
He doesn't have it.
Oh, it actually says he has it.
Says he has it, but the all right, well.
I've seen a bug with that thing lately, where it's supposed to show the gold banner under it if they have it. But it says on the buyback status that he has it, and I'm checking his gold. I'm like, I think he has it. And
yeah,
he
he's
doesn't have the gold bar.
Yeah. Why does it do that?
I don't know. Like even my games I've played where I personally have buyback, it doesn't show the gold bar. I'm like, wait, I do have buyback.
I actually rely on that so much, bar thing.
Yeah, me too.
That's whatever. It's a bug. It happens like from time to time. I was so sure I didn't have buyback, but I guess I'm wrong. All right, well, he does have buyback. Not that it's necessary. He won't need it. They will be at the tier 3 tower soon, but NiP going for a fight. Limp is going to use the Zeus Ult. Bone 7 getting caught. He does have bots. He has Blinking 2, but he's going to die. He's going to get earned up, and Eric gets the kill with the Quill Sprays. Nice play there. Again, they'll probably have to rotate back top, but they do get Bone 7, which is a nice prize for them.
Yeah, and the blink onto the Earthshaker is quite strong.
Did they get a gem? Yeah. That was Bone 7's gem dropping. That's huge.
That is quite big, and I don't think they really counter too much with it. He was trying to counter that one ward, that's why he got caught there. So that ward will stand. They also have another ward deep into the jungle, and placing more wards as we speak, so... Yeah, very nice pickup for Ninjas in Pajamas.
Limp is walking around lightning bolting, and Hanskin's like, dude, I'm right behind you, dude. I'm literally right here. I guess they do need it for vision, but still. They will find one ward. There's another ward very deep in, very close to this mid lane, the mid tier 3 tower on the Radiant side. Well, it's placed by the Radiant on the Dire side. So that's up for a while longer still. They'll probably see that sometime in the near future. However, NiP, do they have the lead in net worth? Wow, 31 minutes into the game, and the net worth graph is 100% even. It is 0. Very close. The experience graph is also extraordinarily even. One of the most even games I've seen in a long time. Wow,
yep.
The Mjolnir pickup coming up from EE as well. What a pick.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. Like, the reason why I like it somewhat is that the armor is somewhat high from NiP, especially if Weave is down. So what better way to cut through that than extra magic damage? So I like that. I actually like that pickup. There's an ulti, a scouting ulti there to see out where Limp is. No BKB on him. Can he get away?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, and you notice the fan was going after Misery as well. I think he missed his call, and Misery was able to blink away. Fata is trying to secure a tier 2 tower. Almost gets it. He could have stayed and probably got that, and he would have been fine. I guess he saw that Hanskin was counter-warding that ward, which I had talked about earlier. All right, well, NiP, arrow running right into Misery. That's a bit awkward. Hex is going to go. He does have Earth Spike. Misery is going to blink away. Fata might get caught out. Blink, they used the Echo Slam as well. The call going, the jam. Big pick. Yeah, he was, I think, using his animation. Didn't get off. Good try. And that's a huge pickup. He's done for 65. He does have buyback, obviously, but maybe some room for NiP to work with here.
Dude, when Era uses just 2 spells, okay, well, 3 spells for sure, he's at haste movement speed. Just
5-2-2.
All the time. Yep, all the time. That is pretty insane. He can just
when he was walking mid, I was like, this guy's a bit fast.
Yeah, I think he has haste room. Wait, no, he just has bots and boots of travel and drum of endurance.
You notice the fan getting Omni Slash. They get the kill. Bots in, gets canceled. Misery hexes him up or Earth Spikes him. I knew that was going to happen. Nice play by Misery. And now Seal Kid on the run. But again, I mean, Era has 5-2-2 movement speed. He can just walk mid. It'll take some time, but they didn't go in there. Jonas fan going down as well means they can't really push. I don't think they can fight. Nice invis rune for Misery, making sure Era gets his TP canceled. That was something else.
Yeah, and Jonas fan being dead is... It's quite bad. I guess they can maybe fight once they get the Satanic on Bristleback without the Axe, but certainly they don't want to. Mask of Madness here up shortly for Bone 7, which I do like because, like we talked about, just getting the heroes faster away from the enemy team even after your lasso. And since he can have the repel applied to him, he doesn't really necessarily need the BKB. So that's one great thing that Cloud9 have is the catch factor, and this is why Batrider is so popular. And this is why he was first picked in this game. Is that even in situations like this, or when I would still say NiP has a little bit of an edge in team fights, you always have that pick-off potential with Batrider.
Yeah, it's just that late game X factor. It's the trump card. But they might need it now, as EE is going to get caught out. He'll try to TP away. He probably makes it. They don't have a Basher for Era, so he can't really go. Lasso up on Hanskin. Doesn't have Echo Slam. They'll try to bring him into the Ancient stack. He kind of says hi to the Ancient Granite Golem. Says, listen, I would love to stay in chat, but I'm actually looking for a Fisher. I'm looking for a man named Bone 7. He's on a Batrider. I'm going to enchant Totem in the face. Give him the Fisher in just a second. Cancels it. Boom, shakalaka. Hanskin gets it done. They're going to walk down mid now. That's a pretty big kill. No buyback for Bone 7, but Fata, the split pushing master, he's ready to go in that top lane. Let's see who gets the tower first. There is Glyph for, I believe, both teams. Yes. But the Dire tier 3 is a bit lower.
Someone's going to have to defend.
Yeah, they need somebody to get back there immediately. They'll TP Hanskin home. He does have Echo Slam. Not that that will do that much. Tier 3 tower is going to fall. Fata working on the melee racks. Sees Hanskin, backs away. So Hanskin not there to fight. TP coming out from Fatsa. He'll be back home now. Era trying to fight up. He's still no Aegis. He doesn't have a Satanic either. Has the money to buy it. Jonas Fan jumping in. Goes to work. Omni Slash, but he uses up in the air. Jonas Fan in trouble. Still alive. Grave gets out. Big Daddy No-Tail trying to help out. He has no G. He already used it. Big Daddy No-Tail getting chased down by Era. One more right click. Say goodbye, Big Daddy No-Tail. Era unstoppable now. They get 2 kills, but what do they get off the back end of this? I'm not sure if they can continue to push. They're all a bit low.
That was Fata's Yules. Why did he
really?
use him?
Oh, jeez.
I was checking. I was like, oh, sick. Access of Yules. Wait, oh, it's Fata's. Oh, no. And then a Roshan just respawns. They're going to take that. That's going to be the cheese as well. Oh, boy. That was not good, to say the least.
Is Air going to buy Satanic here? Is the question. Maybe he goes for Heart, then no. Era is going to put up the Viscous Izuku Sacks. Fatsa's nearby. Fatsa has Satanic. He just bought that BKB, which we've talked about. And they can't really take Roche now. I guess Bone 7 is back up. They could go over there. And NiP back up. They're kind of afraid. I don't blame them. They don't have vision in the enemy jungle. Bone 7 is responsible for 30% of all mom purchases in Batrider's pro history.
That's interesting to me. I actually think the item is very, very good. I just started playing Bat a little bit more recently. I really like it. Like you get heroes way further away than you normally couldn't without the mom. So that's an interesting step. And yeah, you're right. He's going to go for the heart. So it's just casual Helm of the Dominator right now. Feels that having just the raw HP more than the lifesteal is a little bit more important, which is more standard and more expected.
So he'll get heart, probably gets the Satanic later on in the game, and then at that point he's, I think, unkillable. Or about as unkillable as you can get in this game of Dota 2. Well, I mean, he doesn't have an Assault Cross, I guess, or any other item, but still, though, they could probably take Roche now. I think they have the ability to do so. However, Envy's already in the pit. Cloud9 smoked up, and Fatsa will break the smoke. Era walks right into the enemy team. The Hex is going to go. Bone 7. Era is all alone. Mjolnir going. Fatsa trying to get his ultimate off and does do so, but doesn't really do much damage. Steel Kid getting right-click down. Era about to fall. Era, the Grave not doing enough. 2 dead. Echo Slam comes in. It does take care of Big Daddy No-Tail. Jonas Pan trying to TP away the Flame Break. He's about to fall as well. Fatsa gets the triple kill. That BKB going to work, and EE with a big Omni Slash gets a double kill. It's a full team wipe. NiP. Oh, God, what a disaster. And now Cloud9 are going to go straight to Roche. They're going to take the Aegis. That might have just been the game-winning fight coming out from Cloud9. They get not only the Aegis, but they get the cheese as well. And they're going to go straight down mid, more than likely to take this tier 2 tower.
And that personal back did not feel tanky at all. He just got from full to nothing in a matter of seconds, especially I believe Hex was maybe applied somewhere in there too. And Hex is really, really good against Bristleback because he loses his Bristleback. So he's not very tanky. I didn't see the axe where he initiated. Maybe he got caught by the Batrider, somebody, but they just didn't have. Yeah, they didn't have the initiation from axe to really do anything there. And oh, here we go.
Jonas Fan jumping in. He gets the call, but EE low loses the Aegis, gets the Culling Blade going. Now they have to be a bit careful. Fatsa pops the cheese just in time. Yule's up as well. EE is going to Blade Fury. Blink Call is available and ready to go. They will use it on EE. They'll probably just leave EE out to die. That is a lot just for that melee Rex. They have to expend the Aegis, they have to expend the cheese, and they lose Envy off the back end of it. And they will get a couple heroes out. Limp, they're chasing after Fatsa. Do they see him? They don't see him. I think they might know. They see the blink animation in the end, and so Fatsa will get out just in time. But, well, and with that being said, folks, we're going to send it over to Pimp Local for our first replay of the day. Pimp, what is up, man?
Right, I just want to quickly point out that there's been a smoke gank right before... Oh, actually, let's switch back to the live broadcast. There's a kill happening top lane.
Now Big Daddy No-Tail gets brought down, and I think maybe we have some time, hopefully. All right, we're going to send it over to you now. Let's go.
Let's try it again, alright. Well, anyways, as mentioned, the Zeus doesn't have his ultimate because there was a smoke gank early on. So they had one big teamfight ultimate already down. Aerith just walks in, Dazzle ult didn't really do all that much. Limp was running in. Like, everything just didn't work out in the end at all. And, well, like everyone mentioned, Bone 7, he was doing a marvelous job to keep Bone 7 in his place. And with such, the Echo Slam, it was nice, but it just wasn't enough at all. So, with that, nice fight for C9, and let's switch back to the live broad.
And as we're back here, we have the tier 3 tower getting pressured by NiP. Maybe trying to force out this buyback from Envy, but he's got only 10 seconds left on his respawn time. They'll back away for Era. They don't want to try to take too much, and I think it's the right decision for NiP. But they did lose that last fight pretty handily. It's now what that fight actually. That's a 7,500 gold swing in that last fight. In that last fight alone, that was an impressive set of events coming out from Cloud9.
It is as close to a vertical line as you're going to get in Dota in these graphs. One very straight line upwards. And there's a smoke yet again, and I think what Pitmunkle said was huge actually. It was the fact that Zeus used a scouting ulti, which didn't show anybody, so that showed that they were smoked, but the fact that his ulti was down and didn't do any damage, like it just happened right now.
Yeah, yep, there it is
actually really detrimental to NiP once they take a fight right after that. So if they know that they're smoked, then they should probably maybe back away. The problem was that Envy was doing Roche, and they didn't know that because they saw them all smoked. So yeah, that's a big ultimate there for your team. It does a lot of damage, and it cancels blinks.
Probably the most important thing as well. If they had gotten that ultimate off and they weren't smoked, then Bone7 has to wait a bit longer to blink in, and maybe the fight's already initiated at that point for NiP.
Sure,
and maybe it turns into a disaster. I think Era also, he saw the smoke, then walked in, he's like, we should back up. Then he saw Envy Roche, and he's like, I guess we fight this. Let's go. But he was so far away from his team. There was no counter initiation. They got the Grave Valve, yes. And yeah, that's not anywhere near enough here. And on NiP, they're just trying to find somebody to pick off here. And Cloud9, I think if they just do more of the same, they probably have an advantage. I mean, they do in numbers in terms of the stats, but for NiP, what do you do now? Do you just keep farming? Do you try to push down? Do you try to man fight? Is that really the best option? I'm not sure.
I don't think they can man fight in a team fight anymore. I think they still have really strong pickoff potential with like Zeus and Axe. Like they have pretty damn good damage. Their strength is the pickoff with Axe. Like you mentioned, you're sick of this hero and it's really strong. It is very strong, and they can pick off anyone they want to. And the dunk will still go through Appel and GA and things like that. So they have that going for them. But as far as raw team fighting 5v5, it's just not going to work anymore against T9.
Envy walks right into Era, or vice versa. Hex up into Era. They have the entirety of Cloud9. They're going to use the Omni Slash, but it's split up as Lip pops the Ghost Scepter. Beautifully timed. Meanwhile, Big Daddy No-Tail on the chase. They do blow up that Dazzle. No great for them. TP out from Envy. They could have turned and fought that, I think. They'll use up onto Era, but he is full health for the most part. Blink, Hanska jumping in. Nice BKB for Fatsa. No hit totem going there. Jonas Fan about to jump in. Requiem call onto 2. Bone7 the first to go down. Big purification heal bomb. Jonas Fan hexed up Earth Spike. Meanwhile, they're still getting run at by Era. This fight turning disaster. Huge Echo Slam from Hanskin. He gets the boom. He gets 4 heroes. That blink, he was waiting for it the entire game. Boom, shakalaka. Holy shit, that was some damage.
That was some damage, and I was kind of fearful that Jonas Fan wasn't going on to the Shadow Fiend while he had BKB and was channeling the Requiem. Went into the backside, got the kill on Bone7, and it looked kind of shaky there after that, but my god, the damage of that Echo Slam. And that wasn't even a level 3 Echo Slam, too. That was quite good. 1,200 damage in total.
That was something. He dies after that, but he doesn't even give a damn. He's like, that's got to feel good to get one of those Echo Slams. And Jonas Fan and Era stay alive. They take 4 heroes. They don't get the biggest target in Envy, or one of the biggest targets, but God, that was something else.
Yeah.
So,
Big thing, yeah, one more thing before we go to the replay is that you'll see the Omni Slashes you mentioned just did nothing. They spread it out. Zeus ran in with the Ghost Scepter, and it's still a proxy attacks from the Omni Slash, so.
As you said, Pimp's ready with the replay. Let's send it over to him. Pimp, what's up?
Alright, once again, great team fight. This time around, NiP had the better edge. And why? Well, you know what? Eternal Envy, his ultimate was getting completely just soaked up by Era and Limp on a Ghost Scepter. So he was out of the fight. He had to TP out. And that's huge, because your number 1 damage dealer, well, number 2 after the Shadow Fiend maybe even, is not gonna be in the fight. And he tried to run back, but it just took so damn long. Everyone just got cleaned up. The BKB from Fata did nothing. Yes, he had a nice ultimate, but X, well, he was away. He was dunking people. And with that, the teamfight got lost after an insane Echo Slam. Let's see it once again. Here we go. There it's gonna be in just a second. And get dunked, boys. Back to you, Mord.
Ridiculous dunk coming out from Hanskin on that Earthshaker. I do want to point out, this just happened while we were in the replay. Zeus did pick up an Ethereal Blade, which I think is a huge item. This is so big coming up from Limp. I like this choice a lot.
Yeah, it's very good. Obviously, you can use it to apply it to when the Omni Slash is coming out from Juggernaut. He just has to be very, very careful that he's not the one caught, because he's actually very, very important to NiP. Probably one of the most important heroes. It's one of those perfect heroes where you're like, it does probably more damage than anyone, but it also is the easiest to kill. And so if you're Cloud9, that's like your focal point right now for NiP. Actually, it's probably the Earthshaker, because if not the damage coming from the Echo Slams, Handspin has been on point this entire game with stopping the initiation. This is exactly why Earthshaker's picked up. It's not so much the damage, the big dunks, which can happen, of course, but it's mostly for stopping the initiation and keeping people stunned from a long range, and he's done exactly that this game.
Fisher's such a good ability in that regard. It's so hard to fight into that. The block, first of all, obviously, like you said, and the long range that it provides. And I remember a time when this Fisher was not that long. Still a good hero, but there was a time when Earthshaker wasn't really touched in competitive play. 9th Ethereal Blade ever on Zeus, purchased in less than 2% of games. We don't see it too often, but boy, it might come into play here. As this game is getting later and later. We're heading to the 45-minute mark, and it certainly does feel like a late game, although it's going to get tougher and tougher, I feel like, for NiP, as now the Juggernaut has an Abyssal Blade, so that's pretty big. They have the Butterfly for Shadow Fiend as well, so they have a lot of items to work with here, and they're going to head up top lane. They want to finish off this top racks. Easier said than done with Jonas and Fan leading the way.
They actually know they're coming because they spotted him out with a ward up, which was just about to fade, so they want to fight. Oh, nice blink out there from Jonas and Fan. They knew it was coming, somewhat. And here we go. Oh, that's an illusion,
oh, that's an illusion. Fisher block onto E. He does get forced on the other side. Era's running at them at this point.
Look how
they're all
fast
so fast. E popped them on.
He's
Bone
so
7
fast.
probably dies. All right, Jonas Fan, that's unnecessary, man. I guess they get the haste from the Culling Blade, so I guess it is kind of necessary, but they won't catch anybody anyways.
Era don't need no haste.
He is 5-2-2 already. He pops up like, say, I'm just going to hit 3 abilities. By the way, I'm actually at max movement speed. Still running across the map at light speed. And Era is going to try to find Misery. He has his Blink and Force Staff. He's fine. He'll get out. But good defense, I guess, if you could call it that. That was kind of just, we're going to look at you from our high ground, and you're not going to be able to get up here, so.
Yeah, it was a nice blink out from Axe the second that Bone 7 came in. And actually, Autumn, Hanskin finds the dunk. There's the bots in from Jonas and Fan and gets the dunk himself. Really nice kill. He's got no bot. Actually, I have to double check this. Make sure that it's not bugged out.
It's bugged. He has it, dude.
What the fuck, man?
I don't. Dota! Volvo!
You know what's the ironic part is that people will, like, yell at casters on Reddit saying, "Lol, casters, can't you see the buyback symbol on the portrait?" Yeah, okay, buddy.
It's so true. But, like, I've been using that, like, ever since I knew that was a thing, I made it my goal to use that. And now it's dead. I can't look at it reliably. Everything I knew was a lie. All a lie. All right, well. He has buyback. They're going to go to the high ground.
Doesn't want to use it, obviously, though. If they could hold without him, then obviously he wants to save it.
Ooh, the Berserker's call. He's going to have to buy back now. Lasso and the Earth Spike. That was kind of a cool little hop. He gets fingered as well. Jonas Fan brought all the way back. He's in alone. They realize that they're fighting outside of the base now. Omni-Slash going. Limp trying to fight. I think he got the Ethereal Blade off when it was all said and done, so he couldn't find a single kill with that Omni-Slash. Still, that Lasso, though. We talked about it, man. That is the X factor for Bone 7. He brought him all the way back behind the tier 4 tower, behind the nation. He was right here when it was all said and done. That's crazy.
Yeah, so in the end, though, I think it's okay for NiP. They got a buyback out of the Jug, so they know he doesn't have it. His item progression's stifled just a little bit. And the Axe with the golden thing around his numbers does have a buyback for sure. Might actually have to use it. They should see him walking into Roche.
Yeah, there they go.
This is smart.
Look how fast Roche is going down, though. It's getting obliterated. Zeus Ult's going to go. They need to get in the pit. They need to do it now. Fisher's going to come through. Can they get in the pit? Jonas Fan going to jump in. They don't get the Aegis. No snatch, nothing of that nature. Limp does get the kill on Big Daddy. No tell. Era running and fighting. EE low. He does have the Aegis, but he might fall, and he will. And they'll try to kill him a second time. Faza and the rest of the squad there on the run. Bone 7 is getting the hell out of there. I think they missed the call. Not that it matters. EE's dead anyways. Jonas Fan actually misses the dunk. He actually picked up the cheese. Not bad for Jonas Fan. That's pretty big, actually. And a big kill. As EE doesn't have buyback. That's the biggest thing we just remembered. He bought back and now he dies to Roshan. Or at least at the Roche pit. That's a big pick for NiP.
It really is. And someone was pinging out this blade mail that's somewhere, but regardless, he doesn't have it right now. There's a refresher from Bone 7. Can use his lasso twice right now. But is it going to be enough with no Juggernaut in the pool or available? We'll see, man.
Tough defense. They might even they're looking like they might just give up the Smaller Racks. It's already slow and Era is just going to work. By the way, Era has his Assault Cuirass pretty much done. He has enough money for Hyperstone now. He's waiting to buy it for whatever reason. He has more than enough. Lasso's going to bring him back though.
There's one.
Yeah, they will use one. They're going to refresh. Will they go again? Absolutely. Era, you're going to the well, buddy. Have a nice swim. Era, you're dead. Goodbye. He does have buyback, yes, but Lasso now down for, you know, I guess 60 seconds? No, 48 seconds plus the 180-second refresh orb cooldown. Seal Kid. Oh, God, please, no. Dead. Era does buy back. Hanskin hexed up. Jonas and Fan Zeusolt's gonna go. They do take down that Dazzle Ethereal Blade onto Misery. GA, they take down that poor Lion. Now coming back, it's Era. Echo Slam again onto Bone 7. The Fisher, the double Fisher, the Jam. Bone 7 getting to the high ground, but they've already lost 2 heroes. Luckily, Juggernaut is back and alive. Buyback coming in from the Dazzle. They want to try to finish this off. Era going to work. Seal Kid getting ready to get back in. He actually has to defend as the top lane of Rax is now gone. It's an even game in terms of Rax, but now they have the Assault Cross flying in. The damage to the building's that much more. They're going to work. This melee Rax falling so quickly. They have to blink it. Omni Slash is going to go through. They have the Ethereal Blade. Lip not getting in there in time. Finally gets it off. Now Era trying to run and can't attack. Lassoed up. Era brought back to the tier 4s yet again. Meanwhile, they take down Lip on the backside. Era low, getting bashed up. So low. He just bought back. Will he die to the tower? He doesn't regen fast enough from the Heart of Trash. Kill go down. No buyback for him. He's down for 108 seconds, and they don't get the bottom racks. Fisher goes. Hanskin has to TP back home, and now it's time to defend if you're NiP.
And then the Zeus bought back and did nothing with it. Tried to bots in and then canceled it actually himself. That was counter 3-2-2? I thought that maybe Era was just going to save his buyback. They were going to let the Dazzle die and just be on their merry way, right? Like the Dazzle was going to be the only one dead. The rest of them could have stunned and blinked out. They would have been fine, called it a day. But no, they actually really wanted to fight it, and it did not work out. I think big thing was Limp was really late in the Ethereal Blade and just wasn't close enough for something to the Bristleback, and actually used it after the full Omni Slash, and then used it when the spin and the lasso with the Firefly were down, so it actually hurt him more than helped him.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then, yeah, now buybacks are wasted. Bristleback doesn't have one available, obviously. Just used it. He's down for 60 seconds. We'll see if Cloud9 can make something happen. Omni Slash will be up before the Bristleback is up, which is huge, because that means he can easily kill some hero before the Bristleback respawns.
Jonas and Fan, you've got a lot of work to be doing, my friend. They do have Echo Slam back up, by the way, which you can't underestimate the value of that ability. But is this enough? They are really in trouble here. This Rax, they have no glyph available either. They might just let this Rax go. They'll Fisher up Fatsa. He blinks away from it. What a play. And the melee Rax is close to falling. Blink, lasso Hanskin. They know that Echo Slam's a big ability. They'll lasso him up. The Earth Spike coming out as well. And they will figure him so he can't even get that off. He does have buyback. He'll have to use it. Ag's now picked up for Jonas and Fan. He'll try to take this game and just defend this Rax on his own. They will take the melee Rax. They'll back up. They don't want to go for anything more. Cloud9 being very patient with the play, and I like that decision. And it's so close. This game could go in any direction at this point in time. Back and forth we go.
You know, I will say from the games I've watched from NiP, it's all these games that they've played seem to be fun. Like, they always seem to go late. They always seem to be pretty climactic, you know? Back and forth constantly, down to the wire. So it's been really fun. And here we go, smoking aggressively. Era's up top, showing himself. Trying to push out the lane as much as he can. He should be fine. I don't think that EE can really kill him right now. EE, he does see, or he doesn't see, but there is a double damage up top rune. So I wonder if he can make some with that. But he is not bottom yet. He actually has to TP back to base to get mana. If they fight this right now for NiP, I think they might come out on top just because Envy's not ready to go.
There's the Zeusolt. They see exactly where Cloud9 is situated, and they're going to find Bone 7. That's one of the heroes. They get the dunk. Gems on the deck as well. Big Daddy No Tail's like, I'm probably dead. And he most certainly is, I think. Yeah, he has no TP. Big Daddy No Tail, it's just... That's an unfortunate place to be. They get 2 kills. Bone 7 a pretty high value target. Big Daddy No Tail not as much, but still 2 kills, and that's 2 more than maybe Cloud9 were expecting. So, what about Roche? That's still a ways away. Alright, we got a long time before that happens.
Look at this. See, like, Omni's Knight has the golden thing around him, and he has a buyback, obviously. Batrider also has a buyback, but he doesn't. Is this a bug, or are we missing something?
No, it's definitely a bug.
Oh, it's just a bug? Okay.
Yeah, I guess that yeah, Pip was saying the calculation is probably wrong. That's probably true. I don't know. There's just they implemented the new surplus system and all that stuff in the last patch, and that might have something to do with it. Who knows how buyback's actually calculated in this situation, but
well, they're letting their tier 4s get hit just a little bit. Jonas Stefan's actually walking back to help push it out. He does have boots of travel. We'll see though. We'll see. I don't think Batrider's going to buy back with 9 seconds.
No.
So this is a really awkward position now.
Have the glyph though. Bot's picked up finally for Fatsa. Is he 6 slotted? Yes. I guess you get rid of that blink dagger, maybe, because you already sold his Yules. I don't know if you need the blink.
Yeah, maybe just the Daedalus.
Yeah, I guess so. Alright, Cloud9. They're just trying to keep these lanes pushed out. Limp. Dagger, he has bots as well, so everyone has bots, it feels like, for the most part. They're gonna find Echo Slam bots and getting jumped on the Zeus ult. They ethereal bladed him, and they chop him down regardless. That was awkward. I don't know, like, what? Okay, I guess. They kind of just stood around him for like 2 seconds. That was weird. Does that buyback, though?
Yeah, Ethereal Blade actually, as far as offensive purposes, is not great for the entirety of NiP because most of them are physical damage. It's just the Zeus and the Echo Slam from the Earthshaker, and he already used it, so that was kind of awkward. But still got the kill. He does have buyback. Maybe it'd be in their best interest to bait it out and then maybe go for Roshan. And then they get the Roshan, they have the Aegis and Cheese, no buyback available in SF. We'll see if that's what NiP's line here is, but they should definitely try to pressure when he's down.
I think in terms of baiting out the buyback, though, they did that really well last time for Cloud9 when what happened was they went bottom, or went mid, actually, for NiP, and they actually got initiated on with the Batrider last time. Once they brought them back, then Envy bought out, and they actually had a fight off the back end of that. So it feels like NiP have to be very careful with, this push. And there is no glyph.
Here comes Bat. Here comes Batrider.
There it is. It's like clockwork. Nice Yule Scepter coming out, but he might have the Refresher. Does pull him back yet again. Refreshes up. Arrow. He's going to get lassoed again. He's going to get brought back to the well. Will he get there? Absolutely. He's going to try to walk out. Ethereal Blade. He does have the cheese. SF buys back. Arrow pops the cheese. Flame Break back into the well. He's just trying to leave. That's all he's trying to do is get out. Jonas Fan will take down that melee Rax. He gets a double kill on the back end of it. Now, TP in. That's going to be coming in from Misery. Looking for an Earth Spike or something. Finds Arrow. The right click to Scotty, slowing him down the finger. That doesn't really do much damage, but it will do enough to push him back with the Flame Break. The right click more than enough to get the kill. Triple kill for Envy. And they lose the melee racks, but they still defend nicely. Actually, this fan on the run.
He has BKB TP in 3 seconds.
He does. He will BKB. He will TP. There is no lasso. He will make it out.
Okay, a couple things about that. One is NiP did get the racks, which is important. And actually, it's taking some permanent damage here from that catapult there, but No Tail will kill it. They have a buyback available on at least the Bristleback.
And
Dazzle has as well. Okay.
Limp is going to get lassoed up. They bots top lane, and they just go right onto the Zeus, and he doesn't have... Well, hold on.
He doesn't.
He doesn't for 8 seconds. Yeah. All right, buybacks to this game are just so, like, I can't even I need to keep my I button open as much as... Yeah, seriously. I don't know what's happening. Volvo, you need to fix this. But
yeah. Lose the racks, and they've almost lost the other ranged racks, and I think they did get some nice kills on NiP, but it could have been 100% cleaner if they just repelled the Batrider instead of the Juggernaut. Because it was a really nice play by Limp, I believe, who actually blinked in and Yuled him immediately.
Yeah.
So it stopped his backwards progression towards the well. And while he still got a second one onto him, they didn't really need it if he just had the repel onto the Batrider.
Up to the high ground now. No buybacks forced. And again, Zeus does have buyback, but it doesn't show the gold banner, which we'll harp on for ages, but still. Bristleback's alive. They did get that melee Rex mid, so the Rexes are 100% even at this point. There is one difference, though, between NiP and C9's base, is that there is a Tier 2 tower top lane that doesn't exist in the Tier 2 tower bottom lane for NiP. So that's the one big difference. Roche is going to respawn momentarily. There it goes. They had vision of it respawning. They ping it out. They smoke up. Are they going to go straight for Roche? If that's the case, I don't think NiP can get here fast enough to deal with this. I mean, EE and Vanta do so much damage that this is just going to get obliterated, and there's no way they can test this Aegis or Cheese. So that's actually the X Factor coming out for Cloud9, and maybe they could get a building off the back end of this. Maybe they could get a team fight. Maybe they could win the game. Who knows? We are at 59 minutes. We are 20 seconds away from hitting that 60-minute mark in our first game of a 2-game series today between C9 and NiP. I guess we couldn't have it any other way.
And the Juggernaut just built a full, complete butterfly. And I believe he will still have buyback after that.
Yes.
Checking his thing. Yep, he's got. I love this new thing. If you see it, if you hover over it, it says like 375 surplus of gold.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that no math required. Thank God. NiP walking, smoked up. They're going to head towards the bottom jungle, perhaps. There's a heart now done. It feels like every other moment I see Jonas and Fan picking up another item.
Yeah.
He is
definitely six-slotted right now.
Diva's guard. He has heart, Ags.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's super six-slotted, actually. They're going to find Misery. He gets used up. X goes. Lasso brings Hanskin back down to the low ground. They actually put him on the cliff. He doesn't have Force Staff. Omni Slash going in the backside, I believe. But Limp pops the Ghost Scepter. Jonas Fan takes a lot of damage, but will back away. What else is happening here on the backside? Era's kind of alone at this point. Refresher for Bone 7. Maybe looking for another Lasso. He'll find it again, and the Hex goes out as where Era brought back. And Seal Kid blown up by the Requiem. The Raise misses. He'll earn himself. He's going to try to get the Grave off. Doesn't get it off. Meanwhile, Era on the run. Fisher comes out. EE up in the air with the Yule Scepter. He'll try to back away. Bone 7 breaks across.
The throne is taking damage.
Meanwhile, the Ancient back at the base. NiP may be in some trouble here. They're still fighting the mid lane. Jonas Fan gets done a big Echo Slam on Fonza, but where's the follow-up? He's still alive. Fonza already used the Satanic. Era doesn't have one. His heart going to work. The throne back at the base, getting low, below half health. NiP, they have to get back. They have to just stop this fight, get back home. It's too late. They're already all going down. They're going to bots in, and it's too late. NiP's throne is dead. Jonas Fan gets there 1 second too late. And that is the game. You couldn't have asked for a better ending. NiP go down. An awful fight. An awful defense. They're throwing exposed. Cloud9 take the victory after a long-winded 60-plus minute game. 61 minutes and 31 seconds. What a game, man.
Oh, boy. That's got to sting, you know? That's all I'm going to say right there. That's got to sting with the throne dying like that. I would still say really nicely played by both teams, honestly. Like, for NiP, the standout player to me, honestly, was Hanskin. I thought he played so well this game. Just even though his score is 4 or 5 in support, you can't really tell sometimes, but he was just on point, I would say, most of the time with his Fishers. Always needed to stun when he needed to, and prioritize just the positioning of his Fisher and keeping heroes not from following up on like initiations. And that was very, very good for him. And for Cloud9, Envy had some struggles in the early mid-game, but my god, he farmed like a beast. And he really took it after some weird plays in the mid-game, but just had some amazing farm. And the Omni Knight pick, it did come into fruition as we approached the mid-late game, because it was just difficult to play around these repels and these GAs specifically. The GA was huge. And yeah, so it's an awful way to lose that way, but NiP definitely showed a really good game.
And that is just the first game. That is just a taste of what could come here, potentially, with the second game coming up here in this 2-game series. NiP now down to 2-1 here in DotaPit. Cloud9 up to 1-0. We'll see if they take the series 2-0 or if NiP have some other thoughts about the series in and of itself. With that being said, first game now done. I do want to say a couple things here. Again, this is DotaPit. Thank you so much for joining us. Check out, I believe we have a couple of giveaways. One on the Sapphire Steam page. You guys should definitely check that out. Another one being on the Gamers Book Steam group page as well. So check out those 2 giveaways real quick. Gamers Book pretty much has giveaways almost every day, it feels like. Most of them being Arcana, so definitely check that out. Check out twitter.com/DotaPit. For us, if you enjoyed the casting, brought to you by the High Ground TV production studio. We have, of course, at Motsoda for myself on Twitter. We have at Pimp Muckle, who's making noises in my ear. You can check him out on Twitter there. At Motpax for our stats man and Yokemaster. And, of course, at Tralfdota, providing that top-tier analysis. So, with that being said, we will be right back into our game number 2 in just a second, guys. Stick around.